Recently, the borders have opened and there's a lot of new foreign tourists coming to Japan, and a lot of them are curious because everyone in Japan is still wearing masks. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Should I Put My Mask On or Take It Off episode. We're the hosts. My name is MJ.
My name is Adam.
And we'd like to welcome you to another round of MJ and Adam show where we welcome you again. Welcoming. We're just always saying, Yokoso, bienvenidos. You are our third friend in this natural English conversation, learning some new phrases, words, but the biggest part, getting that feeling of English, soaking it up like SpongeBob, because that's something you can't find in a textbook. Today's episode, everyone, we're going to be talking about masked up Japan still? The borders have opened in Japan and a lot of tourists have come here now. Everyone's excited. They can finally come back to Japan, especially with the yen being so cheap. A lot of people are spending a lot of money. So hopefully good for the economy. But they're also shocked at the same time. They come to Japan and they are very excited to see all the beautiful places, the beautiful torii gates, the beautiful sky trees, and the beautiful people, but they cannot see the beautiful people. Why is that, Adam?
They can't see the faces. They're all covered up.
All around the world, everyone has their own different rules and stuff. The Prime Minister Kishida has specifically said, if you're outside, not talking, you do not have to wear a mask. And even before that, there was no real law to keep you from not wearing a mask. You know, I heard it was pretty strict in China, as well as like I think the UK was pretty strict. You had fines if you didn't have mask on. What was it like in Canada?
There weren't fines, but they did want people and refuse service to people who weren't wearing masks. So on that side, it was like you either wear a mask or you go home.
But now, a lot of the regulations for wearing a mask have been taken out completely. You know, you don't have to. Maybe in specific stores, it's their option to have a sign that says, please, customers, wear a mask. I've seen plenty of videos and parties of people over in America, of my friends, just yucking it up, having a good time. Concerts, everyone screaming at each other's faces, singing lyrics and stuff. No masks.
Yeah.
Everyone has understood that, hey, you got to risk it to enjoy
the biscuit.
Take example, everyone, driving a car. Everyone drives a car. Everyone gets on public transportation. Hey, guess what? There's a chance that something bad could happen. You could get hurt. You could possibly die in that car or traveling. Okay? But do you think about it? Do you be like, oh, no, I could die. I could get injured. So I'm not going to go. I'm going to walk the whole way to Tokyo. I'm in Saitama right now.
Oh, wait, something bad could happen that way too. So I'm going to stay home.
There might be some people who think like that, not saying anything bad about it. But the majority of us accept the fact that there is risks involved to do something a little easier or to have a good experience, to do something that is for yourself. Me and Adam have brought this up before, everyone, where we feel like, you know, in Japan, since it's such a customary thing to wear a mask if you are sick, if you don't want to get sick in the colder seasons, you would wear a mask to protect yourself or to, you know, be courteous and protect others. That's what made it simple and easy for everyone to continue wearing masks. But now that you don't have to wear a mask, there's the side of Japanese culture where it's you should do as everyone else does to be equal, so we have a peaceful society. Have that, heiwa, right? You got to mamoru the heiwa. But in this situation, when the prime minister, the government is saying you do not have to wear a mask, but then you go outside and still see everybody wearing a mask. Why do you think that is, Adam?
It seems like not getting any negative attention to yourself for not wearing a mask, I feel. So like there's a social pressure maybe from surrounding people and on yourself to wear masks when you don't have to.
So this is an interesting article that I found on Sora News 24. They always got some good stuff. Sometimes it's a little wacky. They had one where they talked to a few people living in Japan, Japanese people, and their reaction to Westerners coming to travel and visit Japan and not wearing masks. I remember one person vividly saying, so there's a bit of them that's scared, but at the same time, there's a part of them that is jealous because they feel that, yeah, you know what? I don't need to wear a mask right now. I'm in a public place, but I'm not talking. I'm fully protected with the vax. So technically, you yourself is the only person keeping the mask on.
It's a choice. It becomes a choice rather than an obligation to, keep everyone safe, where before when you might not want to do it, but you feel like it's the right thing to do. Where now it's more like you're starting to question whether or not it matters.
Right. Exactly.
Because the government is telling you, like, in this situation, you don't have to worry about it.
And I think it kind of goes to people having the option, having the choice. Where we see in Japan, the government says, you have the choice. You have the option. Of course, you can keep it on, but we're saying you do not have to. Now we look at the option that people have in Japan, the culture has of when you are provided with an option to do something or to not do something, what do you choose? Do you choose something for yourself to make yourself happy or more comfortable? Or do you choose something that is more aligned with everybody else, helping everybody else? But maybe there's a part of you that dies
inside just a little bit. You
dies inside.
You want to do the opposite.
Weaker. Yeah.
It's weird, but just hearing you talk about that, it kind of reminds me about the whole paternity leave for people like males in the workplace, where it's changing, but it's kind of similar, where a man family has a new baby, he wants to take time off, and maybe it's not the best thing for the company at the right time, so he doesn't make any requests. And I feel like it's kind of the same, where maybe like there's a rule here, and the rule says that, hey, it's okay not to wear a mask, but because the people around you might have a problem with it, you don't want to take any negative impact, so decide not to do it. Or it might affect somebody else's feeling or personal space, or kind of like the consideration for others is very strong, to the point where you'll take on a burden on yourself to not do what's going to make somebody else feel uncomfortable.
So this is like a big difference that we see from what we know in Japan, from again our years living in Japan, learning about the culture and stuff, knowing that our roots being from Canada and America, us first, because it's like, if you're happy, then you can provide that happiness, that positive energy to the people around you. So it's important for you to stand up for yourself and for what is important for you. And I feel that there's plenty of people in Japan who have that feeling. I think it's natural.
Right. But I also feel like in Japan, it's more like we can't all be happy. We all have to make a small sacrifice to make everybody happy. I can't just be happy for myself and do the things that make me happy if it's going to affect somebody else, is what I feel.
And if they're not happy.
Yeah, if they're not happy, then it's going to make me not happy, because my duty, maybe my responsibility in life, is to heiwa o mamoru, keep the peace.
The only time that you will see this in North America, everyone, is in a classroom. If a kid takes out a piece of bubble gum, chewing gum, teacher will say, like, do you have enough for everybody?
Right.
If not,
exactly.
Then put that away.
Put it away.
Because it's not fair. So there are times that we do say, okay, we have to be fair, make sure everyone is equal and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, if you're not causing any trouble, then it's okay to go by your own rules, Freedom of speech is a big thing in the US. And it's like, you can do whatever you want to think like that. That's crazy. I totally disagree. But hey, you're not hurting me. You're not hurting others. Think what you want.
I think that's a very big difference too. Like, it's not affecting anyone to a negative degree. Like, so in America, if it was, then it definitely cut it off right there. Stop it right there. But it's not. So as long as it doesn't hurt me, do what you want.
Put it a little more in perspective, everyone. If you feel like you don't want to wear a mask, I feel like you shouldn't have to think about the other people looking at you so much, maybe with negative eyes, because you just have to tell yourself, you know what? I'm safe. I'm good. You got your mask on, so you can keep it on. So everyone, if you see some Westerners going out there, there's, again, interviews with some of the tourists coming to Japan, and a few of them are like, you know what? I don't mind, the phrase "when in Rome, do as the Romans." This is kind of what it's like commonly here, or maybe type of cultural difference. So this is what they do. So I'm visiting this country, so I will also follow those rules. But there's also some people who are like, Japan, you're living in a past that the rest of the world is trying to forget. Like, we're trying to move on. But if you keep these shackles, these chains on, that could possibly affect you. There were others that were saying, okay, I understand the elderly people who are more of a risk if they get sick, but why are your children wearing masks, they say. Questions for everyone to think about, or you can make a little discussion down in the comments. Thanks for hanging out with us. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this deep talk. You know, sometimes we get deep on the MJ and Adam show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like the video.
But that's it. We'll see you on the next step.